So this video is causing some consternation amongst the conspiracy theorists who think that the recent wildfires in California were started by energy beams from space. You can see here, Paradise, California wildfires leave some serious questions. Let's see what these questions actually are.
Okay, so if that is a tree that burned, where's the tree? Where's the stump? What? Look, where?
So that's the question. If that is a tree that burnt, where is the tree? Where is the stump? It's not an unreasonable question. Now you can see if you look in this hole here that it takes the shape of a tree stump. You can see where the roots would be. It's just all burnt away. And in fact, that's what's happened. Tree stumps burn because they are very, very dry. They are very rotten, and they are very, at the end of the summer in Paradise, these were things would tend to dry. But, it's confused some people because there's another tree stump next to it that wasn't burnt. This one over here. So the first step to do in investigating this was to figure out where it was. And I could figure that out from this mailbox here. It had some information on it that let you find what the address was. So I found the address here. And we can see that, in fact, yes, there are tree stumps. There's, in fact, a few tree stumps along the road, which I think it's just been probably cleared by whoever maintains the road. There's one here. There's another tree stump over here. And an interesting thing, another one over here. An interesting thing is that this was taken in May 2012, so that's 6 years. These stumps have been sat in the ground for 6 years, so they would have been extraordinarily rotten, probably falling to pieces. And I know this because on my property, I have some tree stumps. Let's have a look at that. So this is a big pine tree that I had that was had to be cut down because it's rotten. And you can see the middle of the tree is actually hollow, and that does a couple of things. It creates a kind of a chimney effect where the fire can just burn inside the tree and burn up inside the tree. And it also makes it very easy for moisture to get inside, which of course makes the tree very rotten. You can see I can just lever off a piece of the tree here, and it's bone dry. Another thing about tree stumps, of course, is that they are in the ground. Here's a bit of the same tree. This bit of the tree was above ground. You can see it's a little bit rotten where it got wet. But if I turn the stump over and look at the part of the stump that was actually in contact with the ground, you can see it's very different. Being in contact with the ground means you get a lot more moisture and you get a lot more fungus. So the tree becomes a lot more rotten. You can see I can basically just dig into this tree. And that's what the stumps would be like. They would get, during the winter, they would get rotten, and then in the summer they would dry out, and they become this kind of tinder that would just burn very, very easily. And if you take a dry piece of this wood, you can see that it actually burns very, very easily. It's easy to ignite, and you can just stick it in the fire and it will just burn. I've been using this as firewood, and once it gets going, it burns incredibly rapidly and burns completely. So all we're seeing here is a fire.